This section will walk you through creating a Radiological Health Annual Report. The Center for Devices and Radiological Health is providing the ESubmitter application to create radiation safety product reports, annual reports, and other types of required reports and correspondence for radiation-emitting products regulated under the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act and specified in 21 CFR 1002, which are currently available to industry. This tutorial will walk you through the process of creating an annual report submission. Prior to launching the ESubmitter welcome screen, we will discuss an overview and introduction to CFR 1002.10 and .13. Manufacturers of electronic products that emit radiation are regulated by the FDA. The law and regulations, as well as all of the FDA's guidance and industry assistance, can be found on the FDA website at www.fda.gov. If you scroll down to the radiation-emitting products, you will get to the Radiological Health Program homepage. This tutorial assumes that you are already aware of your reporting responsibilities and that you are interested in preparing an annual report for your products. To begin, you should have ESubmitter installed and open on your computer. If you have not yet installed ESubmitter, please see the tutorials on installing ESubmitter and launching and navigating the ESubmitter interface prior to beginning this tutorial. From the ESubmitter welcome screen, click the Create New Submission button from your menu panel. Alternatively, you may click New from the icon menu in the toolbar or from the File menu. The New Submission dialog will appear. This dialog wizard will walk you through 3 basic steps to create a new submission file. Note that you may click on the hint light bulbs to view additional helpful information. The first step is to select the appropriate submission type. As mentioned in the overview tutorial, ESubmitter is available to users for a variety of submission types to FDA centers in addition to the Center for Devices and Radiological Health. For the purposes of this tutorial, you should select Radiation Emitting Product. Once highlighted, the description provides additional information about the selected submission type in the bottom portion of the dialog window. Scroll down to view the full description and click on any links to view additional information as desired. Once you have selected the appropriate submission type, click Next. The second step is to provide a descriptive name and a file name for the submission, both of which are required fields as indicated by the blue dots. CDRH does not require a particular naming convention for their submission files. Submission files should be named appropriately so that you can recognize the submission by its name to open it at a later date. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will name the submission Sample Annual Report Submission. Additional comments about this submission is an optional field and can be used to enter any notes that will help you recognize the submission at a later time. This will help you recognize which submission you are working with when you are viewing existing submission files from the Open Submission File dialog. Once you have entered a descriptive name and a file name for the submission, the third step is to click Create. You will see the progress bar on the bottom portion of the screen showing that ESubmitter is processing and loading the appropriate submission form. ESubmitter will default to this layout view called the Simple View of the submission form. At the top of the screen, you have a menu bar and a toolbar. Below that, you have a header bar that describes the submission name you have just provided and the report or submission type which you previously selected, which in this tutorial is Radiation Emitting Product. As soon as you start entering data into the application and save it, you will notice that the last modified date and timestamp will appear. Once you have finished entering all required information and go through the packaging process, the header will also display the date and time the submission file was packaged. Below the header bar is a descriptor that indicates which overall section of the submission form you are currently in, followed by the specific screen. In this tutorial, we are in the eRad Health menu section looking at the introduction screen. In this screen, you are provided an overview of the submission type and additional information that may help you begin compiling your submission data. It is important to read all of the informational content within each screen, as the subject matter experts within radiological health have deemed this information helpful and important for you to read. When appropriate, links have been provided in the informational sections for ease of reference. Specific to this screen, you have been provided the link to the public law, the link to the FDA ESG website, as well as the link to the guidance for this particular submission type. At the bottom of the screen, there is a navigational bar which allows you to click Previous, Outline View, or Next. You will see this navigational bar when you are in the Simple View. If you are in the Expert View, you will navigate to Previous and Next sections using the appropriate green arrow buttons in the toolbar. You can toggle between Simple and Expert View using the two icons located in the toolbar. The view you select is a personal preference. The Expert View is particularly useful as it allows you to jump to a particular screen by double-clicking on the desired folder on the left of your screen. While the Expert View is a useful feature, it is recommended that you move through the submission using the green left and right arrow navigational buttons in the toolbar to progress through the report in the correct order and not miss any sections. This will also ensure that the business logic is loaded properly and you answer questions in the order they are intended, so you only need to answer questions that are pertinent to you. As we mentioned, there are business rules that are embedded within the application that change some of the questions in the form based on the information entered in previous sections. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will return to the Simple View. Please note there are instructions available to you which provide a useful checklist to have on hand when compiling your submission for CDRH. The document also includes specific details for radiological health users, including some useful websites that will provide the FDA regulations, reporting requirements, and various performance standards that you may want to bookmark. Upon clicking Next, you'll be taken to the definitions section of the submission. Please take a moment to read over the definitions provided. Click Next. As seen in the roll screen here, there is a narrative below the question portion of the screen. This concept of displaying directions or instructions prior to asking questions is consistent throughout the form and intended to better inform the user as to how to answer subsequent questions, so please take time to read the content. After reviewing the informational screens, we will answer our first question, what is your role? Please select Manufacturer for this example. As you can see, there is a blue dot next to this question which indicates it is required. You will now be asked to select what type of submission this is. For this section, we will switch to the Expert View. Select Radiation Safety Report and Supplements, and a blue dot will appear for type of product. Select a response and click the Process Screen Changes button. You will notice more tabs have been loaded that are relevant to the answers you have selected. Go back to the first question and select Annual Report and Supplements and select Yes to accept the change. Notice that the blue dot will now appear on a different question based on the answers you have selected in submission type. For this tutorial, we will select Laser Products. Click the Process Screen Changes button again and notice the tabs on the left of the screen have changed based on the answers you have selected. Please note that this screen is very important to select the correct responses as it determines what subsections will display for the remainder of the report. Switch back to the Simple View and click Next. Please take time to read these informational screens, General Information and Burden to Industry. Upon clicking Next, you will be taken to the Manufacturer and Report Information screen. This screen gives an overview of the type of information to be collected in the subsequent screens. Click Next to proceed to the Manufacturer Responsible for Product Compliance screen. An overview of the manufacturer responsible for product compliance is displayed at the top of the screen. Below, you will see the option to copy from an address book, or after entering the address information, you can also copy to the address book for future use. The yellow light bulb can be selected to display hints for any page it appears on. 3 tabs are displayed: Organizational Identification, Physical Location, and Mailing Location. You will be asked to enter the organization name under the Organization Identification tab. Click the Physical Location tab and enter the appropriate information. On the next tab, Mailing Location, you'll see the option to copy the physical address to this screen, or you can enter a different address here. Be sure to save this information by clicking the Copy to Address Book button to reuse again at another address question. You may always change and edit this information in the future. Click Next. In the Responsible Individual screen, Enter all the required information under the Contact Identification, Organization Identification, Physical Location, and Mailing Location tab. Select Copy to Address Book to save the contact and address for future use. Click Next. In the Manufacturer's Reporting Official screen, we will utilize the Contact and Address Book since we have saved our entry on the previous screen. Select Copy from Address Book and choose the contact from the list and click Select. The information is now populated in each of the tabs shown here. Click Next. In the Report Submitter screen, enter a new contact and address or select the Copy from Address Book icon to use the contact and address recorded in previous sections. To save your contact and address, click the Copy to Address Book icon. Click Next. For this example, we are selecting No to the question, Is there a parent establishment? By selecting No, you are not required to enter the information for the tab shown below. Select Next to proceed to the Manufacturer Designated United States Agent screen. Select No for this example. You will proceed through the next optional screens: Written Agreement, Importer, and Additional Manufacturing Locations. In the Report Information screen, we will select Yes to the first question if this submission is a supplement to an annual report submitted previously for the same reporting year. Probably your annual report is new for this year, so you would answer No. If we respond yes, the next question is now enabled, so we would enter the accession number. Utilize the chart below to verify that your accession number matches the report type that is being filed. We will enter 1032345 for the accession number in the field provided. For this example, we will select No for the question, Are you requesting a new variance, a renewal, extension, or amendment to a previous variance? The next few screens inquire about significant aspects of the FDA regulatory program. If any of these questions are relevant to your submission, please be sure to respond yes and add some explanation or attach any documents which will raise the significance of your submission with FDA staff. Select yes to Does this document or any of its attachments contain a self-declaration or notification of noncompliance or defect? The following question to provide an explanation is now required. Enter the explanation. Answer No to all of the questions listed below concerning noncompliances. Note that the explanation box is not required when all the answers equal to No. Change the first question to a yes and notice the explanation box is now required. Answer No to all of the questions below concerning exemption requests. Notice that the explanation box is not required when all the answers equal to No. Click Next. For the purpose of this tutorial, the variance request screen is not required, so we will click Next. Select Yes to the first question, a response to an inspection. The next question is enabled and you must enter the date of inspection. Enter 10/11/2009. Answer No to the remaining questions listed below. Note that the explanation box is not required but is optional for you to enter more information about any of the above responses. Select the green plus button to attach any additional information that would help expedite the review process. For the purpose of this tutorial, select the green plus button to launch the Attach File to Response screen. Note the option to either select from a list of previously attached files or select a new file from your hard drive, workstation, or network. As you progress through these submissions, being able to select an already selected file is very useful, particularly in product reports, for example, where you may wish to use an operator's manual to answer several questions. For this example, we will proceed with the default setting to select a new file. Select the file folder to browse to the location of the file on your desktop or network. Highlight the file you want to attach and click Select. The selected file location is displayed in the Locate File field. Enter a descriptive title and click the Attach Selected File button. Notice that there is an accompanying detail or memo text field associated with file attachment questions where you can add a note explaining the attached document or identify the chapter or page where the answers can be found. You will now see the attachment in the field shown here. Click Next. For this example, we'll select No to the question, is the product sold by other companies under different brand names? For the purpose of this tutorial, we will move past the next optional screen, Medical Devices. The General Annual Report tab is displayed for completion. The first screen displayed is the Part 1 Report Identification screen. On the screen, you will need to enter the date of the period in which the annual report is being submitted in accordance with 21 CFR 1002.13. Notice that the month, day, and partial year is pre-filled. For this example, enter 09 for the first question and 10 for the second. Click Next to proceed to the next screen, which is Part 2 Production Status. Select the first radio button stating that products were manufactured during this period and the firm is still in business. This is a different type of screen that creates a table for your products and relevant information about each. We will show you how to enter the data one at a time, but you may also import selected data from your own spreadsheet directly into this table. Select New to enter the item details. The details page is displayed with required fields to be completed for this section. We will proceed to enter the required information for model designation. On the product code question, select the green plus arrow to add the product code. In the product code filter dialog screen, select the down arrow on category name. Select a response and notice the matching product codes displayed below. Select a product code from the pick list, or you may also enter the product code name in the field shown here. Click Select. The responses you selected is now populated in the fields shown here. Fill in the rest of the required questions. Click the List tab to view the data in the table view. For each model produced this year, click the New button to report on the model. Enter the pertinent information about that model. After entering the data about all of your products, you can view all the entered data in the table format by clicking on the List tab. Note that at any time you have the option to delete the information entered by clicking on the Delete button. Click Next. Select No for the first two questions and Yes for the third. Notice the testing sampling question is disabled. Click Next. Select No to have any product specifications that affect radiation safety changed and click Next. Select No to did firm receive or send any communications regarding radiation safety of your products this year, and scroll down to the next required question to indicate the number of written communications from dealers. We will enter 5 and attach a file. This time, we'll select a file from a previously attached file and select the attachment in the list. Click Attach Selected File. Click Next. In Part 7, enter an address of the production facility that maintains shipping records. As you scroll down, you'll see that this is the last section of the submission, so be sure to save your submission by clicking on the Save icon. For packaging instructions, see the eSubmitter user manual located on the Frequently Asked Questions tab of the eSubmitter homepage.